BeyondO2 Waterhouse. It's in the corner of Pacific and Main here in Santa Monica.
Sure, yeah, that's a very special.
So I'm going to give you a little gifty boo, and this expires on 8/29. And we only charge $2.60 a gallon.
Okay.
This is normally $13, but again, you get it free. You just bring your own container, and you can certainly purchase that. My husband is an attorney.
Really?
Yeah.
That's your
I'm sorry. It should. You want to be careful about what's in the marketplace, honey. Our system is the most organic and natural, right? Yeah, that's the one I was saying. And it's the most organic and natural because it doesn't use electricity. It works on water pressure only, right? Originally, I had gotten
That's the purification system.
What's really neat about our system, June, is that it's the most natural and organic filtration system in the marketplace because it doesn't use electricity. It works solely on water pressure. So imagine in our tap we have pharmaceuticals, fluoride, chlorine, jet fuel. They call it toilet to tap now. This system literally cleans that water completely, cleans the tap from all the things I just mentioned, and then we add calcium, magnesium, potassium back in. And those minerals come from pearls and coral calcium. It's the best source of minerals on the planet.
That's good.
So what happens, beloved, most bottled waters fall in this range of pH, which is considered to be too acidic. When we add those minerals back in the water, and again it's clean water, it raises the pH up to 9.5. Disease and cancer can't live in an alkaline environment. So instead of having to eat only those foods to be balanced, you could certainly drink the water as well.
Okay.
So by you getting those minerals, that's what helps your digestion, helps your awareness. Imagine this, if you can see this on the camera, these are blood cells before you drink the water. So all the blood cells are all clustered together and all stagnant because they're not getting the proper minerals, calcium, magnesium, potassium, and or oxygen. So our system not only adds the minerals back in, but it also adds the oxygen. So these are blood cells that are much more healthy.
Wow.
You see, all they're separated, they're dancing around. I was a testimony to this. My blood looked like this. After I drank the water, it looked like that. I was like, oh my God.
You had it tested?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. So, you know, there's a lot of alkaline systems on the marketplace. They use electricity to raise the pH as opposed to raw minerals.
And some just purifies without adding back the minerals.
Well, they don't really purify the water 100%, sweetie. You know, you have to have an advanced reverse osmosis to clean the tap from everything that's in there. A little carbon filter, you know, that takes out some of the things, but nothing, not all of it.
And I just want to ask you, Joy, what made you open this beautiful water store?
You know, it's funny. I was never really into water before, and I would have to force myself to have that 8-glass quota thing.
Right.
And I remember that last year I graduated from the University of Santa Monica. It's not the college, it's an actual university where you can get degrees, etc. And in the second year they invited us to come up with a project. So climb a mountain and learn a language, I chose, at the time, I was going to come up with an energy drink to replace Red Bull, to not just have so much of that caffeine and all that stuff.
Right.
But, you know, for the 5 months that I was researching it, my attention kept on being brought to water. And I'd say, you know, universe, it would be really nice if you could just bring me the best water in the whole world.
Right.
And then I'd let the desire go. 5 months later, June, I was at my girlfriend's place, and by the way, she painted my store. She's an amazing artist. Her name is Danuta Rothschild. I went at her home, and I had like 5 glasses of water in 2 hours, and this was amazing for me. And I was like, Snooki, what is this water? And she had this water in her home, and I said, that's it. I'm changing my project. And I knew right there and then that I needed to do this.
Wow.
So, you know, it's interesting because, you know, when you get that inner gut feeling that you know you're doing something right, when I was drinking this water at my girlfriend's place, I said, that's it. I have to open my own water store. Because I had heard all that stuff about how in all the bottles it really wasn't that clean of water, and really there's very few product out there that's alkaline, and doctors talk about alkaline. I mean, I really knew hardly nothing when I started this back in February of 2008. It's now, we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary, July 17th, and I have learned so much, and I'm still learning. You know, I think we started our little conversation earlier about how we never stop learning. So I just know that just from speaking with my customers and the benefits they've been getting, their weight is balanced, their digestion helps. You know, I used to get an upset tummy, June, like 3 times a week, depending on what I ate. I never get an upset stomach now. So I really swear by this water that it really makes a huge difference in my world. And I've always wanted to have a business where I was helping others, you know. And then also, I don't know if you know about Dr. Emoto.
I do.
You do? So, you know, just for the audience, if, you know, you've never heard of Dr. Emoto, he's this amazing Japanese scientist that came out with this book. He discovered that if you take a water molecule and put it under a microscope and like saying thank you, that it also turns into a beautiful snowflake. Play certain music while you're freezing that molecule. It turns into a beautiful snowflake, like this. Like this is Mozart. I don't know if that has a little reflection on it. We were talking earlier about if we look through the eye of a young person, where everything is surprising and fascinating, and, you know, as I talk with you, June, I'm looking for different ways that I can appreciate you and acknowledge you and your magnificence. And I know that, you know, it's going to make me feel good, but at the same time, how can I lift you up? And I know that, you know, it's going to make me feel good, but at the same time, how can I lift you up higher? And I think that just brings me back to being full circle with the water, you know?